Hey there everybody, Matt Carter here.
And Jessica Carter from CarterMatt.com.
This video is our reaction to The Boys Season 1 Episode 2 entitled Cherry. The song Cherry Bomb will never be the same again.
Nope, I thought that episode 1 brought us the gruesome, episode 2 made it worse.
This is where everything is taken up to another level when it comes to the grossness, the violence, but still a little bit of humor, a little bit of darkness. We also kind of know what the larger sort of idea of this show is meant to be now, which is exciting.
Yep.
I'm still enjoying the ride though, 2 episodes in.
Yeah, me too.
We're already a quarter of the way through it though. That's like the bad side of it.
Yeah, this is such a great show, and 8 episodes? Oh, it doesn't feel like enough, even though these are an hour long.
Yeah, well, if you
They
guys...
go by like this.
Yeah, I know. They really do. And we're going to get into it though. And if you like this video, give us a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any other updates. I mean, I feel like it's probably good that we spend a little bit of time talking about this crew that is fundamentally what The Boys is, where you've got now Huey, who has found himself in a most unusual position.
Yeah, in a place that I didn't think he'd be in, doing some things that I didn't think he was capable of.
Yeah, and I mean, he's driven a lot by anger, but I think he's also driven by... He wants to feel something. I think he wants to feel like he's contributing. I think he wants to discover something within himself that he didn't know that he had.
Well, and to just take back a little bit of his power.
Yeah, and he didn't...
Something that it feels like he just never really felt like he had. He, yes, he was in love and things were going well there, but we saw in the first episode he was trying to ask for a raise and he just couldn't get it together and his job was not exactly where he wanted to be. This episode feels like he's taking back some power.
And he's got, I don't know if we can call them friends, but he's got associates who maybe he wants to work with them moving forward. I mean, these are the boys. I mean, we've already spent a little bit of time with our good pal, Mr. Butcher, who...
Yeah, and I was not expecting, because it felt like at first that Huey was supposed to be the hero, but it feels like he's mixed himself up with the villains, and the heroes of this, the 7, are also villains, and it just feels like there's... Because what Huey is doing is not good either. Like, everybody's now killing people and doing these horrible things. And it feels like a show about superheroes where we have 2 sides of heroes that are both villains.
Yeah, they're both up to some pretty bad stuff. I mean, I would think the boys probably feel like they're vigilantes in some way. Because they're like, okay, we are... taking the power back from these heroes. We know how terrible they are. We are bringing everyone true justice by any horrible and graphic means necessary, at times involving someone's butt. But still, they're finding a way to do what they think is right. And I mean, it's clear Translucent is not a good person. That doesn't necessarily justify anything that they do per se, but this is not, he is not what people think he is.
No, I mean, we haven't learned a lot about Translucent. Yeah, we learned that he's a creep and that he sneaks around a lot. And to me, we've learned that he was probably the most powerful superhero of these 7 because as strong as they are, they're laser eyes and are able to punch through a wall. In this world and in every world, information is the biggest power that you can have. And Translucent, being able to be invisible and be anywhere and hear everything and know everything, was probably the most dangerous out of all of them.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily that close, because this is a world that's been sort of built now on politics and identity and role and sort of understanding where you fit in to the biggest picture. Just because you're a superhero doesn't mean you have money, doesn't mean you have success or fame or anything else. And it seems like all of those things are sort of combined. Translucent, he's the one who can actually ruin lives because he has the information necessary to do so.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was kind of interesting to see him trying to trade information with them to be able to be let go and them not take it. I was really surprised by that because that is something that, yeah, even though once he left, I'm sure he would go back and tell Homelander and everyone there'd be a bigger problem.
Yeah.
But there's still that amount of time in between Translucent getting back and them releasing whatever information he's been able to give.
Yeah, and I think in that span of time, I guess there could have been a lot of recourses, different actions that could be taken, but I feel like what we see with Huey at the end of this episode where, Translucent's got this chance to get away, he's gotten information now, Huey has, that apparently our old buddy A-Train was just coming back from seeing Popclaw, who apparently is like a D-rate superhero.
Yeah.
I guess Popclaw would be like the superhero equivalent of like the celebrity who's on like 20 reality shows and is just like clinging to something.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, and I guess he can't be seen with this person, so that's the reason.
So he's sneaking around, and this is why Huey's woman is dead. I can understand why Huey is now even more pissed off because this wasn't him saving someone's life or, getting the bad guy or anything. He just didn't want to get caught with a D-list hero, and this is the reason his woman is dead. That's obviously not going to sit well. It didn't sit well, and now Translucent is no more.
Yeah, and I feel like Translucent is in some ways paying the punishment that, Huey can't put on A-Train at the moment, so it's just sort of like, I have you, so I'm gonna take this out on you. And given that what we know about Homelander and his own sort of rogue operation that was going on outside, it's not exactly like there was a lot of time to pull this off either.
Yeah, no, they got it together pretty fast. I mean, obviously, Huey had a decision at that moment of whether he was going to let him go or not let him go.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a big thing that's going to change things moving forward, but with Translucent gone now, you don't know who else knows a lot of information about him. Maybe he can buy some time, maybe try to find a way to be not as constantly on the verge of peril.
I don't know how this is going to play out. It feels like, pun intended, it's a big mess.
Yes, they will have the literal mess of trying to clean that up.
Yeah, it's all just it's so messy now because not only is Translucent everywhere, Huey has just killed somebody for the first time, and it's a superhero, and Homelander knows something is up and he's on the prowl, and we already know that he murders people when he feels appropriate. I originally had thought that maybe Madeline had sent him off to take that plane down. Yeah. It was surprising to learn that he just decided to go and murder people on his own.
I think what this episode taught us more about these superheroes is that they have this sort of complex where nothing is ever really enough for them, and I think that's really interesting because Homelander seems to be one of the most powerful of all these people. He's the most famous. He's got a lot of things going for him, but he still feels just like he's just doing whatever someone tells him to do. And I think that's kind of frustrating, but I think he heard information that suggested that there could be some problems coming for Madeline.
Yep.
So he decided that he was going to take it upon himself to go and do this, which, by the way, there might be a reason why, Homelander, you don't go and you do these sort of things, because you make some highly questionable decisions.
Yeah, he really does. And and we've seen him now do that. We've seen him now. He's on a rampage looking for Translucent.
Yeah.
When he finds out what's happened to Translucent, because eventually he's going to find out something, it's going to be quite bad.
Yeah, and I just from what we've seen so far, I don't exactly think he's going to be like, all right, well, I will sit this out until you tell me what to do.
Yeah, we even saw him when he was talking to the Deep about even just giving that little bit of information to Madeline about the fact that the plane had some burn marks in it and that it could have been him. Just that conversation was pretty terrifying, and he didn't even do anything to the Deep.
Yeah, Homelander is. I'm so curious about this character now.
He's
Especially,
terrifying.
yeah, like he's terrifying. He's very, very formidable. He's got so much that's going for him, and even just that scene of himself and Starlight when she's, in her Annie costume, if you will,
Yep.
where he's just talking about how he doesn't have a secret identity anymore. Like I was so fascinated by that because I just wanted to know, when was it that you gave it up? What did you do as this secret identity that you don't want to be this person anymore?
Well, maybe it's also just that he's too famous now,
Yeah.
and there was no hiding that secret identity, and maybe that's part of what's going on with him, is that there is no privacy anymore. He just is who he is all the time. He's always on camera. He's always in front of people. He's always being trotted around like a pony. There's no hiding for him anymore. He's always on, and that's got to be exhausting for him. And you can kind of see it on his face that it's exhausting for him.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell that this is getting to him. I don't know if that means that, he's going to be somebody who just wears out at the end of this, or he's going to eventually feel more threatened and find this other gear and then just try to murder everyone on the show.
Yeah, it kind of feels like he's teetering on that edge of how much longer can I do this? How much longer can I hold up this persona before I do tip into being a supervillain?
Yeah.
Because that sort of feels
Yeah.
like kind of where we might be going with this.
And it's kind of a ticking clock, too, because Madeline's trying to get some stuff done right now. Like, she's trying to get the Senate and the government on her side, trying to make sure that they can do whatever they can to influence and take over the government. Hence why she gets a little bit of help from Doppelganger, who clearly wins the award for one of the most shocking scenes of this entire episode.
Yeah.
We've seen some stuff on TV over the years, and like this felt like Mystique on X-Men. We saw some stuff with Mystique.
Not quite like
I don't think we saw this. I think this took everything to like another stratosphere, and yeah. So now we've learned a little bit more about how far some of Madeline's people are going to be willing to go to influence and make sure that she has the power that she deems necessary.
Yeah, she's coming across as a bit of a evil mastermind. She does control the supers. It seems that she wants to have a seat at the table in government, and she's willing to do whatever it takes to make that happen, and it involves some pretty shady stuff.
No matter whatever it is, it's gonna, yeah, I think she is the mastermind. She is, the queen of the castle, and maybe that's where eventually we'll be going in some sort of showdown here. But let's spend a couple of minutes on Starlight, who she kind of is like the one character on this show who like still has like some elements of goodness. I mean, she saves that woman. She's trying to do the right thing. But even when you do the right thing, apparently that's somehow the wrong thing.
Yeah, it's you have to be a hero, but only when it's done properly and done for the cameras in the right way, and you have to be in your costume. It just takes away from a lot of what she seems to want to do, which is just make a difference and stop bad guys, no matter if she's in disguise or not.
Yeah, and it's just...
Like, when she got told
Yeah.
off, it was pretty powerful stuff to watch that happen. Sort of you could see her kind of imploding on the inside of like, how is this wrong?
Yeah.
How is what I did wrong? I stopped this thing from happening.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden I'm in trouble for this, and I'm in trouble for the cameras, and I'm in trouble with these two guys, and there's no girl anymore. And I got it too. I was just feeling like, how are you in trouble for this?
Yeah, it's like everyone around her is making me so mad because of everything that they're doing to her. But I loved her telling off the Deep. Like, that brought me, her calling him a fish was one of my favorite moments of the entire episode.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
It was like, okay, yeah, this guy's horrible. Let's just, it's good to know that he's the nothing burger of the whole Seven crew. Not that that's, like, filled with good people elsewhere.
Yeah, they're all kind of terrible, so.
But I mean, she is the starlight of hope within this group that maybe someone can bring them to the sense. Maybe she can kick them all out and she can form a new 7.
Maybe she can.
I feel like she's more qualified even after only working like a few days than most of these other idiots are. But that's just where I'm standing on this right now. The only thing I guess I'm a little bit bummed about with this episode is we had that scene with Huey and Starlight in the premiere, and it was I like that scene so much. No interaction between the two of them at all in this episode.
Yeah, no, there wasn't much of that. That was a bit of a bummer. But you know what wasn't a bummer was that scene with A-Train with that kid. I was dying. It was so well done because it feels a lot like that Black Mirror episode Nosedive, where everyone's kind of rating you on, how good you are, how bad you are, this guy. And it's a lot of what's going on right now in society of how many likes did you get and how many retweets and who's looking at your stuff and how popular you are online. So to watch all the little there's all these little hearts and smiley faces, and then the kid's like, I didn't ask for you. Like, where's translucent? Mad faces, angry, crying. I was just... I've seen so many live streams where things like this has happened that it just... It touched home. I've seen it happen. It does. How quickly people kind of get canceled in cancel culture.
I love so much how the kid at a certain point was just like, are you going to help me run away from cancer? And he didn't know what to do, so he was just like, yeah.
Yeah, no, that was painful.
It was so dark.
So funny, but yes, it was really dark. I feel bad laughing about it, but I can't help it.
That's the boys.
So crazy.
That is what we are officially in for now that we are a couple episodes into this. But let's hear from you guys on all this. What did you think about The Boys Season 1, Episode 2? What moment stands out to you the most? Be sure to share in the comments, and if you like this video, give us a like, subscribe, and you can support us further by checking that link in the description to the Carter Matt store, and we'll see you here next time.